Hey, this is Real Talk Chimp, live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. That's RealTalkChimp, Real Talk Chimp. I'll be doing the part 2 of this 3D wooden puzzle, Cherry Blossom Tree Tea Pavilion DIY Mini House. SJ042. We did a tutorial the other day on part 1. This is part 2. We're going to continue building this model kit. All the information that you see on the back of this box is in the description, as well as information on what a cherry blossom or Sakura tree tea pavilion is in Japan. So we're using the Elmer's washable clear glue. This kit actually comes with glue, which is cool. Most kits don't. Some kits do. But you want to use a clear glue because you don't want to see, what color it is when it's drying. Otherwise, it'll throw off the model kit, I suppose. So that's what I use. You can use anything else. You can use a super glue or whatever you want if you want it to dry quicker. This doesn't dry as fast, but it does work. I also use the file that comes with it, but I also have purchased a set on Amazon, which I have linked in the description, that comes with all kinds of tools. Plus, I've been collecting as I've been building kits. Little file to file down parts that just don't want to fit together. I use tweezers because it is a little model kit. I mean, it'll end up being about, say this high. You can see the sides of it, how big this thing is going to be. So the parts on here are fairly small. Plus, they're in intricate spots that's hard to maneuver your big, giant chimpanzee fingers in. So I use the tweezers. Tweezers generally come with all these kits. If not, again, this little modeling tool kit that I have in the description will have a set of tweezers. Also, my modeling kit comes with an X-Acto blade and extra blades to be able to cut small parts out. I bought a cutting mat off of Amazon as well. These are really good because you can cut straight into them and they'll just merge back together. I don't know how it's done, but it is what it is. You'll also need 2 AAA batteries when building this kit because it comes with an LED light box that you can turn on and off with a pressure switch. So on part 1, we built the wall with the bookcase and all this that you see right here, this little tea set and little nook right here. This is one of the walls that we built in part 1. I'll zoom in so you can see the katana blades on the shelf. We did a bunch of books with covers, the little dolls. Pretty neat little thing. It's an optical illusion, so depending on which angle you look at, it looks three-dimensional, like the vase, which is just a cardboard cutout with a picture on it. But at certain angles, it looks 3D. For instance, the lamp you see is just a cardboard cutout, but you get it at a certain angle and that 3D image comes through. You can see I broke one of the pieces right here manhandling this. You got to be careful. These kits are super delicate. So try to repair that the best that I can. Hopefully at certain angles you won't see that snap, but nonetheless, that's the first wall that we made there. We made, well, not the first wall, that was actually the third one. We made this little side wall here. And this one right here was another one that we worked on. Another one of these 3D lamps. Looks super cool with the optical illusion. Pretty neat. Had to use a lot of the white glue on there. So that's that. That's your basic tutorial of parts and stuff. We're going to get this rolling. Remember to like, if you like this type of content, of course. Share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. That would be greatly appreciated. Who's Real Talk Champ? It's this big forehead that you see right here. Okay. Comment. Keep me entertained. My underscore lover ZZ said hi. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello there. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I do upload content basically almost every day, certain different times of the day, depending on when I'm awake. Subscribe to the channel would be greatly appreciated. We're only asking for 90 gazillion bajillion subscribers before the end of time. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. This is the last one we finished on part 1, so now we're switching to part 2, which is chapter 4, large back wall. Okay, so we're going to need some G's and some E's, so we're going to reach into our box of stuff. These little tabs come with all kits. This helps you to push the pieces out of the plates, unless you just use your hands. Sometimes I use the tweezers. Some of the plates do come apart out of their pages, so make sure you set them aside because obviously you will be using those critters. Okay, let's grab our plates out of here and we'll put them back into order. A through G, I believe it is. Okay, there we go. We got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. We also have stuff. Now, this came with an accessory pack, as I said in part 1. Came with its own set of tweezers, glue, a file, a screwdriver, some clear tape, a hammer, which I've never used before, and some double-sided tape as well. You'll be using this stuff later on. So I have my own toolkit, as I said, so I always keep these accessory packs because they're super cool. Then, of course, the two AAA batteries you have to provide on your own. They don't add them. It's because these kits come from China and they have to travel super far. A lot of these things, they don't want them to explode in the package. So you got to provide this stuff on your own. Oh my Lord, we're not getting a phone call. That's what happens when you're using your cell phone to go live, I'm afraid. Oh, speaking of, let me try to set this back up on the gimbal here. Hang on. Oh, should mute my phone, huh? I don't know if I can do that. But I'm trying to work on getting a video camera or a DSLR or something else so that I don't have to use my cell phone in case I do get phone calls and such. All right, so we're looking for E1. E1, here's E1. This wall right here with the, let's see, SJ042, that's the model number of the kit. If you look it up online, you can either type it in as Sakura Tree Tea Pavilion or Cherry Blossom Tree Tea Pavilion, and then look for SJ042, that's the model number. All right, so this is a big enough piece. We can pop this one out. I want to be careful and not break the tabs. Okay, you can see on E, that's where that little tool came out of. A little tool came out of there. Can't get it to focus, but tool board. All right, still some extra parts on here, so we're not done with it. Those are wire keepers, I'm pretty sure. They look like door handles, but I think they're wire keepers when you start to put the LED down. We could put those in there. Okay, so we have our E. We'll set that aside for a moment, and we're looking for G parts. Okay, so we can take E, F, G, that to the back. We're looking for G parts. We are looking for G101. Oh my God. I am not ending the stream to take that phone call. G10-1, which is right here. Okay, G9, which is right here. Oh, guess we're going to take the whole plate out, huh? Okay, we'll take the whole plate out. Do we need G19? We do not. Okay. So we'll take the whole plate out. We're not at like World War III or anything like that. She did call back twice. She usually only calls back when something major has happened in the world. So somebody can let me know if I don't hear mushroom clouds going off, so Sammy doesn't seem to be affected by anything outside. I don't smell like napalm or feel any radiation destroying my body. We're good, right? Okay, good. All right, so G8 we need, and G9. Okay. So now we're done with this. We don't need this anymore. So put that in the box. We've got all these parts. Some have color on them, some do not. All right, so these are the battery box. That's what these things are. This is the battery box handle to open up the battery box. Doesn't say that on there, but I've made already about 8 or 9 of these kits, 8 kits, I think. So, yeah. All right, so we need to put G10. So this guy is multiple parts. So this guy goes here on the front. This would be the battery box right here. So you want to be careful with it. The battery box will open up like that. You'll have, this thing is a little turn dial, and it secures the wall right here on to this piece here. But when you open it up, you'll be able to reach in and change batteries and such. All right, so this is going to be multi-stage doohickey here. So we're going to take this critter here, put this critter on this side. Doesn't fit that way. How about this way? Okay. Okay, so that's there, G8. So this is a little washer, it looks like. So I'm going to get this little washer on here to get some thickness. Okay, so this is the tricky part now. Now we got to put everything through this hole. Okay. Holding with my thumb, there it is right there. Then we're going to take the back part that you're not going to see. And figure out a way to get it to go without it falling apart. There we go. If you don't feel that it's going to stick on there, hit it with a little bit of glue. Okay, so the way this works is when this thing is turned, we got to face it the right way. Oh, I guess it doesn't. Okay. When this thing is turned, it should be secure, not going anywhere. It'll go this way, but it won't go pushing back that way. I'm sure there is a way to monkey with this part so that they're both horizontal. I don't think so. Let's see if we turn it that way. So if we turn it that way, it's going to force it open this way, but it won't come back this way. So there we have the little door secured on there. Okay. That took an awful long time to do one thing. There it is, current completion status. You see the little doorknob thing facing horizontal that way towards the bamboo. You see it as well right here towards the bamboo. And we are complete with that one. Let's move on. That was a quick chapter 4. Right on to chapter 5. We're building the ceiling according to this. So they show you what it's going to look like before you build everything in the chapter page here, but now you actually start building it. So we're looking for G5 and A21. This symbol up here tells us that this is going to need to be glued on here. Okay, so G5 and A21. 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 Okay, there's A21. Oh, it's got some writing on there. Well, obviously they don't read it like that, so it's read like that. So if you know Japanese, you can translate that for me. Tell me what it says. Okay, this one we can easily take out without a little cardboard piece. So there's A21. And I believe Japanese writing is read from north to south. But don't quote me on that. Okay, A, and now we're heading over to G. So we need G. Let's move this stuff over here. Try not to drop it on the floor. G5. G5 is this square, so we're going to end up having to take the whole square out. Ooh. Yep, so this will be different parts. This, oh, now it's on the ground. Sammy, come and get this. Sammy's upset with me because I tried to clean his ears, so he probably won't be hanging out with us today. The very angry pussycat. All right, we're going to get something off the floor here so we don't forget about that. We're going to use our handy dandy little grabber tool. Put it back up there. Oh, handy dandy grabber tool. Always good to have. Oh, son of a monkey. Sophia White, how are you doing today? Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. All right, so those parts, the G7X2, let's set aside with all the other panels that have separated from their friends over there. Okay, so we have this one here and this one here, and this one is going to be glued on to this thing here to give it a framed look, I suppose. A framed look. All right, so is there an, oh, yep, so we'll put the glue on this side because this is the side that's going to be seen. Okay, we'll move this aside here. Okay, get ourselves some glue. Okay. Don't need a ton of it. Oh, that'd be nice if we can get it to come out. Still no? Got to be a piece in here that's the glue. Let's see. There we go. Peel that little glue top off that dried up there from the previous session. Ooh, a little too much there. So generally I just use a tool, smear it around. Okay, I'm putting cream cheese on a bagel. Or cheese on a taco, or glue on a frame. Oops. Okay. So let's try to align this the best that we can. Being that the horizontal line here, so let's flip this thing around. There's the horizontal line, there's the horizontal line there. To let you know that that's the center point. Oops. Try to get it. Another cool thing you can use clear glue for is to give it that lacquer look. All right, so we'll let that piece dry over here. Okay. And we'll move on to the next page. That was doing that right. And there's what we just worked on. Agua. Okay. All right, we need D5 plus that sign that we created and A32. Well, A32 I can see right in front of me. There's A32. Does not want to be free. There we go. A32. And we said D5. D5. This plate right here is D5. I don't know why they're showing it in black like that. That's kind of weird. Oh, well, that one just popped out. That was easy. Okay, D5. I'll put you guys back together. That's what we're looking at right there. A little monitor off to the side. Okay, so we have a D5. Now we have to make sure that the orientation is correct. So let's take a look at this. Sorry for the glare. All right, so we need to figure out where those squares are. So that looks correct there, but does it matter which side is which? That's a little tricky. It does because of where the squares are located. So if you were to flip this around, you see how there's the square, the open spots here? Then the open spots here. If you were to flip this around, well, obviously now it's facing a different direction. That's not what it looks like in the picture. It looks like this. So if we were looking underneath it, we would see the two squares there. This is what you see there. Again, another optical illusion. Can't quite tell what's going on, but it appears that this is what we're looking for. Oh, frame's coming off. All right, frame is just going to have to fall off for now. All right. Having problems again with the tabs. Now we're going to have to use the file. And then we'll just put that frame back on when we're done. So if you watched part 1, you noticed that almost every tab did not fit into the slot. The fitment of most of these kits, on the lesser expensive kits, is not great, and you will be using your little frost file to file these things down. Okay, so do we have any better fitment now? All right, I'm going to take it away from the camera for a second here, just so I can get some grip on this thing. There we go. A little grip. All right, so now that we got that down, we can re-glue the frame back on it. Well, there's plenty of glue on there. So I should be able to just reconnect it back on here. So this is some type of sign that's hanging down from this ceiling. That's what we're looking at there. Okay. Again, I'm going to file these flag pieces here because I just know from doing this kit so far that these tabs are not going to fit. And it doesn't require massive taking off material. It's just a little bit, just to get it into its slot. The only time it gets obnoxious is when it's just so thick because they didn't align the part out of its, whatever you call this part of it. You know, if they didn't align it properly when you were popping it out, that's when I'd have to go in with the X-Acto blade or your scissors and actually trim pieces off of it. You watched me in part 1 trim pieces off because sometimes it just happens. Okay, so what side is which side here? Let's see what side the pattern they want. Okay, so they want this side out. That's the sound you want to hear when it's connected. Okay, so there. We have this ceiling here. These would normally be soft cloth type flags that would sway as you went past them. Or maybe the air conditioning or fan would make these things actually move. I had another kit that had a similar type of thing like this, of these patterns. It was the dress shop that I was working on, or the kimono shop, and these things were actually paper, like paper stickers that you stuck on this thing, on a beam, that they actually could move. You could actually like take this thing here. They were paper stickers, but they weren't cloth, but you could actually take your tweezers and kind of flex them and move them, which was kind of cool. It was a cool detail that they added. I mean, if you want to, you know, get super intricate with your kits and actually buy fabric and such and add it to it, you absolutely can. So, okay, so that is complete. That was this here, D5, A32 in the previous piece that we made underneath, and there is the ceiling assembly has been completed. So if I was to face it the way that they're showing it in the instructions, well, kind of, let's see. Well, see, here's what doesn't make sense, is the sign is facing the opposite direction than it is in here. Okay, so now we got to reverse the sign because the sign is facing the opposite direction. Awesome. Luckily, I filed it down. This is glued on. Okay, so now it should be correct. We look at the thing. Always good to check your work to make sure you didn't screw up. Now here it is here. Once again. There it is there. There it is there. Okay. That step is completed. Now we're going to work on chapter 6, which is, looks like we're building the entire bar with a floor here. The base says this section deals with the assembly of the base assembly, which is constructed from multiple components. To avoid errors, the assembly instructions will detail the gradual assembly of several similar parts. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, since I already see one part has fallen apart, this thing is now dangling. That certainly has to be glued on. I'm almost 100%. There's just no way that that's a thing. I thought it would have sealed at night since it sat. It doesn't seem to want to cooperate. So, because this guy doesn't want to cooperate, I would use something like a piece that you already finished using, like this thing. Use it to hold it in place while it glues. It's not gluing properly on that side. So let's try to center this as much as we can. There we go. Okay, we'll keep it there. Hopefully that piece will glue on there and stay. Gotta move the camera a little bit just so I can see a little bit here. Try to align this thing. For some reason, this piece is warped and refuses to stay horizontal. There's probably going to be a gap, and at that point, just use some of your glue to make it a filler. Okay, that's about the best we can do right there. All right, we're running out of space, so we'll work in this area. All right, so we're going to start out looking for B24 and G18. B24 and G18. B24. B24. So I don't see it on this plate, so it must be on the other plate. The original plate that fell out. That's C, so B is here. Meow. Meow. Okay, B24 is two pieces, one here and one here. Okay. So here's B24 facing the correct direction. We're going to put B over here. And we're looking for G18. Let's put E back in here. E, F, G, E. We're learning the alphabet every day. Okay. All right. We're looking for G18, which is right here. G17 looks similar, but it's missing its notch. So that is not the correct part. We will use G18. Okay, we have that. Goes into that. Nope. You know what that means? Oh, son of a monkey. Okay, we're going to put you, sir, over here with your little thing to help you stay glued. So we have some space. Okay. Grab our little file. Sometimes it's tedious work, but as long as it's fun. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. Suppose you could pay me to do it, and I could just build these kits for you. Where's the fun in that? Okay, you heard it click into place. That's what you want. Dovetail. I think that's what that's called, a dovetail or a ducktail or something that miter cut inside the wood. They do it just like real life. Just super cool. Water, condensation from the glass. Thought it was glue. Okay, we're looking for F16. Oh, it looks like we're building stairs. Okay. We're looking for G16 and F16. Sound like a bunch of planes. So we have a G16, which is right here. G16 and now an F16. F16 right there. Okay. Normally, if I had less stuff all over the place and I was just building my kit, I'd have the plates splayed out. I've always had problems building the steps. Sometimes you'll want to use glue because it just will not cooperate. But here we go. We're going to try to put these parts together here. If they don't fit, you must acquit. I mean, you must file. You must file. Come on, go to your home. Here we go, one. Okay, now our other critter. Oops, wrong way. Son of a monkey. Speaking of son of a monkey, come here, Sam. Sam, come here. Not going to happen. He shook his head and said, nope. See, it's all wonky in there. Try to get it to focus. It's all wonky and not really fitting well. Fitment is no bueno. Nope. Did not want to go. Perfect. Okay. Okay, the next one, we just completed step 42. Now we're on 43. We need G17. G17. There's G17, just like we talked about. Looks like another step, the last step possibly. Step as in steps up the stairs. Okay. Nope. I guess that one sits behind it. Kind of wonky. I guess once you put the other side on, if it still feels wonky in your hands, you can always hit it with a dab of glue. All right, so that's that part right there. Flipping the said page, yep, there's the other side, B24. All right, so B24, you sank my battleship. B24, are you not on here? Stops at B23. Ah, B24. B24, there's two parts. Here's B24. Okay. So this is going to require that peg and that peg to fit into these two spots. Who says that we have to file? I can already see that it's not going to go. It's way too thick for that thing. Okay. I don't think I've ever found any model kit that fit together perfectly on the first try. I think they want to make it a challenge. So you spend more time on it. That's the sound you want to hear. There you go. Now we have a little staircase. Again, if it feels wonky, you can always put a little dab of glue. A little dab of glue in the little dabby spots. Go to the stairs there. Down in the sides. If it feels wonky to you. Okay? So that, right there, is this right here. Current completion status. And that's going to go on G1. So G1, did we take G1 off? No, we did not. There is a G1 right there. Don't fall. Please don't fall. There is a G1. Oh, I guess we're going to lose our monitor in a moment. Not a big deal. We have monitor number 2 over here. Let's go to number 2 monitor. The battery. So you have to have a battery tender, unless you have a plug to, it's got a couple of bars left to get the monitor to work. We do have a tablet over to our right, so we can watch it as well. Let's get that going. Let's set it up on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is up. We'll go to YouTube. Okay. Over here. Perfect. I should probably make sure that there's audio. I hear audio, so that's good. Okay. Alrighty. Oh boy. All right, so floor. Let's find the orientation of the floor, make sure this is correct. That would be the outside, that would be the inside, okay. So we want to look for, well, it's really dark. What is what here? Who would know? Very difficult to see. Oh, I see. This set of squares right here, you can't see it very well because of the glare, but I assure you they're facing right here. So if they require me to go to these 2 squares here, then we're looking at these 2 squares here to put said staircase. We may need to file these down in order to make these fit. We'll see it on the first try if it'll go. Ooh. That was painful. Okay. I still think we probably should have filed it down to make a better fit. Okay, that's that. So now we are looking at building, it looks like a desk or a bar. G15, all G parts. Okay. All G parts. Okay, so we're looking for G15, which is the top of the bar here. G15, we're looking for G11, which is here. But it has a center part that's not supposed to be there, or it is supposed to be there. Oh, it is supposed to be because we're going to be putting something on there, pictures or something. We'll put that over here. We're looking for G12. This is G12. The other side. We're looking for G13. So this is G11. This is G15. This is G12. Make sure it's facing the correct way. G13. This piece right here. Okay. So I will show you what I was putting down since it was out of frame. So this here is G11. This here is G15. This is G12. And this is G13, which needs to face this way, which seems odd to me. So if you see the orientation of the which way it's facing, the tab outward and the tab upward, and the gap or flat space down, but when you look at it on here, there's no color. So that's going to be facing inside. That's the side that you're going to see. This is going to be facing inside. Okay. So let's put this down. We're going to take our tab just in case we need to. Okay, so let's see where this needs to connect to. Okay, so that needs to connect to this right here. No, it doesn't. That one does not want to go. All right, we manhandled that pretty well. All right, so now this other piece. No, okay, so this one just lays flat against it, only connects here because these tabs are the tabs that are going to sit into the base. So this is, we need to put this one here. That's a nice squishy sound. If it don't feel right, you can always put a dab of glue across that. But you gotta leave it open just enough to let those other pieces breathe, I guess. Okay, and then we have this critter here that looks like it connects on there, there. Or not. Of course it doesn't. Why would I ever think that it would fit? Why would I ever think that? That doesn't look right. Way too much of a gap. So we have to pull this one back into the bar. So I thought it had to sit flush over there, but it doesn't. Let's kind of get it seated right. So you can see the piece down inside there. Something's obviously going to be sitting on top of this bar. Okay. Not sure what that white tab is right there. Seems to be all correct. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're putting that aside for the moment. Take the little piece off the table. Back in the box. All right, so we are working on a tray of glassware it looks like. So we're looking for all A's. That'll be nice. Okay, so we're looking for A20, which is right here. A20, we're looking for two A17s. There's two A17s. Super itty bitty parts. Okay, and we're looking for A22, which is this guy right here. He almost fell off the table. Okay, so we have we're looking at that right there. Where's the orientation of it first? It shows like another color pattern right there, but I don't see that anywhere on here. Hang on a second. This is so tiny, I can barely see anything. The pattern of this thing is what we're trying to find on this thing here to make sure that it's aligned properly, that all the spots are in the correct spot, but it's not showing it very well. All right, we'll just have to wing it. It doesn't fit in there. Doesn't fit in any spot. Look how thick the tab is. Doesn't want to fit in any slot. There we go. Okay, so it has to poke all the way through because that's going to be the tab that's going to sit on top of the bar. So that's the long one there. And the two other critters have to fit alongside. Remember, we're using little tiny parts. And my big phalanges, I'm going to have to do this off camera for a moment just so I can hold on to this. Big giant phalanges don't want to cooperate. Okay, let me see. Gonna have to follow this stuff down. That does not want to fit at all. Okay, well, you know what we got to do. Try holding on to it so it doesn't fly away. Like that. Yep, fits much better when it's filed. And then if it feels too loose, drop a little bit of glue in there. Sorry for the focusing in and out. That's what you want to hear. There we go. A little tray of glasses, of tea glasses. Sorry for it not focusing. That's the little critter right there. Guess it would be faced this way. Okay, moving on. We are going to be doing something here now, and this is 48. It's going to require glue. We're going to need A15 and A16. It looks like we're making a framed picture. Okay. Okay. So we're looking for A15 and A16, which are these little tiny guys right here. There's A15, about fingernail size. A16, frame. Okay. The step is going to require glue. There's the required glue symbol. Okay. So we have two sides. I can't tell which side is the glue side, but they both look identical. Okay. We have, that is a small little picture based off of a real picture that they miniaturized. Okay. There's the tab that'll go into wherever it needs to go. We'll pre-file that now so we don't have to do it later, so that once the frame is on, the frame won't fall off when we're trying to put it together like we did with that other piece. Okay, pre-filed it. Put some glue on here. Okay, we got those two pieces right there. So it looks like the tray is going to go onto the bar, right? That space right there. So the way that that one's going to fit, of course, again, is with that tab right there. So okay, that one didn't require any glue. Squished in there pretty good. Not seated properly. There we go. Shouldn't be hovering above it. Okay. So make it the optical illusion so that it looks like three actual glasses sitting on there. Right about there. That's a good optical illusion. Looks like you can just lift that right up and take a sip. Okay, moving on to the next page. Oh, we get to put all kinds of things up here. Okay, so we're waiting for that glue to dry a little bit. We're looking for C13. C13 on there. Nope, I see C13 right here. Meow. Meow. It's one of those lucky prosperity cats, like your I know there's a word for this guy. Trying to remember. Like when you see those prosperity monks in restaurants or in businesses, people always say, "Oh, look, it's a Buddha," but it's not. It's not the Buddha. It's just a monk, little chubby guy, and he's usually holding something like a bowl of fruit, or he's holding things in his hands. Those are called prosperity monks, and these guys are supposed to be similar to those prosperity monks, but they're in the form of the cat. And the cat's supposed to be, I guess, the little arm waves. The little arm will wave, and it's, bring us your money. I know there's a word for that type of cat that they have in those places. So, all right, we're looking for D24. No, I'm sorry. We're looking for C13, which is the cat, A23 times 2. A23 times 2, which is, looks like little desserts. Little snacks. Gosh, I hope that's not a wasabi square. Your mouth will be on fire. But I guess it would taste lovely with tea. I'm going to say it's some types of desserts. They don't look like sushi. Falling in my hand there. Okay, so they're two-sided. That's good. Okay. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. We're going to place all this on said bar. Okay, so we're going to take the one that we glued. It's probably going to fall apart. We're going to do our best. And it fell apart. Okay. I put a little bit on the base of it, so in case it drops down. It looks like a menu to me. Look like a menu? Yeah, I guess that's a menu, right? And we're looking for the pussycat. It goes right here. All right, good. And it doesn't say which one to put there. There's two different colors on here, so put the darker one in the back and the lighter one up front. Oh boy. I have to file down this tab as well. Of course. Of course. I gotta put the other one. Nope, I can't take it out now. My hands are too big for this spot, as I was saying. I'm gonna do this off camera here for a moment. I'm trying to. Cannot. All right, hang on a second. I gotta move the camera aside. I cannot get my fingers in the place to put this on here. Oh, it's facing the wrong way. Lovely. That may be why we're having troubles. Yep, it was facing the wrong way. I had it facing the wrong way, and that's why it didn't go. into its spot. And as soon as I faced it the correct way, it dropped in immediately. So wipe my phone a little bit here. Smudgy fingerprints. Little clothy McClother tins. Okay. All right, that was that phase right there. 51 wants us to put 2 pictures on the front of that. So we want F5 and F6. Head on over to F5, and F6. 2 beautiful ladies right there. F5, F6. That's the side you're going to glue. Stick onto the doohickey like that. The other one will be glued on and sit right on there like that. Okay. Surprisingly, oh, there it is. I was going to say, okay, so there's one more, F7, that goes on the right side. That is the symbol for glue. I was about to say, I don't see the symbol for glue here, but all I had to do is move the instructions over a little bit. There is the symbol that requires glue. Okay, so F7. Which is right here. That one goes on the side. Okay. We get our gluey McGluer tins. Don't need a lot, remember. Glue and McGluer tins, stick our little plate on there. Fit the diagram behind it as best as you can. Try to align. Okay. That right there would be the current completion status. That right there would be what we just completed. It's kind of going wonky. Let me give it some dimension so it looks like it has an outline. Okay, I'm going to set that aside so let it glue, dry. Okay. Nope. Next phase says it wants to be put onto the floor. And where did we put said floor? Here. So if that's where our staircase is, then this is going to be placed on that one and that one there. And we can only hope that we pre-filed. But if we didn't, let's see how this is going to work. Of course, everything falling apart. Like you do. Nope, needs to be filed. Everything falling apart. Gotta hand it to these people. They sure don't know how to make a kit work properly. They sure don't like us very much, do they? They don't want us to have fun. They want us frustrated. But we're not going to let them frustrate us, no. So things fall apart. We'll just put them back on. Okay. Let's try it again. Oh, I can feel the squish. Perfect. Just press it down. That's the sound you want to hear. Now, if things got misaligned, sorry for not focusing. You know, the reason why it's not focusing is because my stupid hands are in the way. Frame went wonky. There we go. Frame is back in place. So there we go. Get ourselves a little staircase. A little bar. That is what we did right there. So now we're going to move on to a whole nother part. So we're going to set this aside because it doesn't look like we're working on it. We're going to take a sip of agua frio. We are an hour and 12 minutes in. All right, looks like we're going to build another bookshelf. All right. Step 54 says, pay attention to the orientation of the gap. Okay, so we need the little shelf B15 for the little shelf. B15. B15, which is this one. Pay attention to it. Orientation of the gap. I see the gap. Let's see which way these squares are going. Squares facing the right direction. Yes, they are. All right, we'll place that there. We're looking for 3 D4s and a B22. So let's look for a B22 first since we're already on that plate. A B22, which is a little bear. A little sumo bear, right? He looks like he's wearing a sumo outfit. Okay, there's B. So since we have this down, let's just put him on there. He goes right there. So most likely we'll need to file him. Let's see if he fits. Does he fit? That is wonky. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have to be filed. Good. Little sumo bear. Try to angle him to make him look three-dimensional. Cute. All right, we're looking for D4 times 3. EF, and there's D. Okay. D4 times 3. Ah. Little rice holders or tea holders? Rice holders? What would you call these little containers right here? They hold rice in them. I've seen them hold rice. Maybe they hold sugar. Maybe they hold cream. Maybe they hold, I don't know what they hold. All right, so we know that everything in this area is going to be coming down here, but right now we're just working on that one. I guess we could use our tool. This one and this one, and they're stuck onto the back, so okay. They are three-dimensional as well. There's in particular order of how to put them on there. So I guess you can put them however you want. Okay, so let's cross our fingers and toes that they fit. Let's put the darker one towards the back. Okay, that one didn't work. Let's turn it around and try it again. That one worked. Okay, let's put the pattern one. That one fit perfectly. Then we'll put the white one. This one's a little tricky because I got to get between a bear and a hard place. That one's not going to fit. Let's turn it around. Very difficult to hold little tiny things in the big chimpanzee hands. Okay, that looks cute. Shelfie McShelfertons. Okay, so now we got a back part and little side rails. So we're looking for two D3s and an A27. Well, we got the two D3s. Wait a minute. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, these are the two D3s here, because the D4 was the three little containers. Not going to work without popping that roof out. So D3. Oh, well, roof has escaped. Okay. Okay. And we're looking for an A27. An A27. Looks like this big guy right here. We're going to face them this way because we want that peg to be facing downward. Now, whether or not that's the correct side or that's the correct side, I can't tell you that. I don't know. Okay, so this one is going to be tricky because we have to connect this into here. We have that little, oh my Lord. Well, wouldn't you know what I got to do? It wouldn't be a proper kit without filing the tabs. It's the sound of the dove. Okay. It's the sound we want to hear. Again, if it seems wonky, put a bead of glue in there. All right, same with the other side. Yep, everything works when you file it down. You file it down a little bit. Doesn't want to sit right. There we go. A little bit wonky. Kind of wonky. Well, there's our little shelf. You know, this would be the same thing. It'd be like this when you're building a dollhouse. So it makes perfect sense. You're making furniture for a dollhouse, but it's pre-cut. So, but this is the same way. This works exactly the same way if you're building a dollhouse. Okay, and that's part 55 that we just completed. So now we're going to take that bottom shelf, put it down on the bottom here, making sure that the panda bear or the little sumo bear is facing to the right, to the right. Okay, a little panda bear. Okay. So we got to put them right there. So let's knock it out while we have a chance. Sorry. Just lightly filing that little peg there. Not trying to break off the tab, the silk screen. Just very gently. Don't have to push down real hard. And while we're here, let's get the tabs here. When I grow up, I'm going to have hands that work. Can't get behind it. So use a tool. Does not seem to want to go. Yeah, a little wonky. Push the sides down. Looks like a gun case. I'm pretty sure we're not putting guns on there. Maybe we'll put a katana as a car outset. Who knows? There it is. A shelf is born for a little sumo bear and little containers. Okay? We are flipping said page. We're building a whole bunch of more goodies. Okay, what in the heck are these? This is going to require glue. So we need A28, which is right here. A28. Then we need A25. How many pieces? 3 pieces of A25. Looking for A25. There's A25. I don't know what those are. I want to say they're hot dogs. I don't know. Maybe there's some type of pastry. Okay. So those are A25. To face the correct way. Okay. So that's A28. Those are the 3 pieces of A25, and we're going to glue them on. Oh, we're missing an A3. An A3. Here is an A3. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm going to need the tweezers on this one. This is a tiny, teeny, tiny. A teeny, tiny, tiny, teeny. Okay. All right, what the heck? Where does that even go? It goes through here. Okay, so it's some type of tab. It's, how do you determine what is the correct side? Ah, which way the ramp goes. Okay, I see it. Okay, this is going to be a difficult, tiny little part to put on here. The focus is not going to work very well, so we're going to have to wing it. It does not want to cooperate. I really don't want to break this. That's the best I can do. I guess that's just how the tray is going to sit. Super bizarre. That cannot possibly be right. Oh, yeah, it is. A little A3 right there. It sits really strange and wonky underneath this thing. Okay, I believe you. Okay, we got to glue the little parts on top. So I'm going to hold the base of that. Put some glue up here. That's a lot of glue. That was way too much glue. Okay. Now we got to face these little pastries the direction I suppose they're supposed to go. Just going to get them up here, and then we'll situate them. I can hear the OCD screaming, "Oh my God, get it right." Okay, that's that. And that is what we were going for. Whatever the heck those are. I don't know. Okay, we're going to set that aside, let it glue dry. Okay, and then we're going to work on B14. Another shelf. B14, make sure it's, yep, that's facing the correct way, yes. Then we're looking for A24 times 4. I see it. A bunch of tea bowls. A24, you got a black 108 one, a black 108 one. Stuck on the back. Okay, our little bowls. So this is the orientation that you want. You want the notches facing that way, facing towards the peg that way. The notches facing that way out. So we're going to put the 4 bowls there. Pray that they fit and we don't have to file. Again, there's no order, whether it's black or white. That one didn't fit, so let's spin it around. It don't matter if you're black or white. Okay, so maybe you go black, white, or black, white, white. What do you suggest? There's no order on here of which one goes where. So we can go black, white, white. That one didn't fit. Well, you put them right next to each other. How are they going to sit next to each other? They have to be staggered. So they are. They're staggered in here. That one is not cooperating. Oh, once again, we have to deal with our stupid hands that don't want to put little itty bitty pieces. We have to file. Oh, that one refusing to go in its spot. There we go. Okay. Trying to get it at the angle so that it looks three-dimensional, which is pretty good right about there. Just want to reach in there and drink some of that tea. Okay. Also, right there, we now have to put the thing that we made. I'm going to add a little glue to this because I don't feel that this is going to be setting in here properly. I lied. It's perfect. So it definitely helps to file. Let's make sure that sits properly. So maybe those are treats. I really don't know. Now this shelf goes into the second rung on there, according to said picture. Okay. Let's file that down a little bit. Perfecto. Okay. That's what we just did there. So now we're going to merc. We're going to merc on another thing. We're going to work on another piece. Okay. My name is Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. I'm live streaming through YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. I am building this kit right here, which is the Cherry Blossom Tree Tea Pavilion SJ042. And yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. Remember to like. If you like this type of content, hit that like button. Share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. Comment. Keep me entertained while I'm trying to entertain you, and stay positive and not frustrated while building this kit, so you don't have to, or so that you obviously can work step by step with me. And subscribe to the channel. 99.4% of my viewers are not subscribed, and I don't understand why. I can't imagine my content is this horrible, but maybe it is. We're looking for B17 and F3. So let's look for B17. B17 bomber. So there's B17. There. Oh, we went too far ahead. We're looking for B9 and F4. B9 and F4. B9. Here's B9. We went just a little too far. There's B9. Now we're looking for F4. F4. F4 is right here. F4. I'm going to take F3 out and put it with the other one. Okay. Okay, here we go. B9 is right here. F4. Nope. F4 is here, I think. B9 is here, but you want me to face it this way. Ah, yeah, so it's spice, some type of spices. This is going to require glue. They want me to make it three-dimensional, so it's basically taking that and gluing it to that to give it more dimension. By itself, it looks like it already has dimension. Why they want me to stack it? Well, I guess to make it look like there's more of them. Guess. Weird. Okay. All right, well, that's what you want me to do. That's what I'm going to do. Why you want me to face it that way? Doesn't make any sense. But I am not here to judge. Okay. There it is stacked. I'm going to put it aside for a moment. Okay, and now I'm going to do 61, which is doing the same thing to this one. At least this one makes sense, because this one doesn't have a face on it. The other one had a face. So that's really strange. Unless you want me to put it on there. Or do you want me to put it on the other side? Don't make no sense. Ah, you did want me to put it on the other side. To make it look like there's a whole bunch of them on here. I guess. Doesn't align very well. Okay. The same thing with this one. Dab of glue. A dabba. Grab this guy here. Drop him on there. Do you know the translation for broken orchestra? What does broken orchestra mean? You're right, it's karaoke. What's tonight? It's Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night. I don't know what. Let me see if I can see it on here. It's Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. It's karaoke tonight, Sam. Are you going to be doing karaoke tonight? I think you are. You're quite a singer, Sammy. Sammy, can you tell everyone to like, comment, share, and subscribe? Huh? Thank you, Sam. Now you heard it from Sammy's mouth. He said like, comment, share, and subscribe in that order. Okay, so we did that. We did that, and now we need to place that on a B12 with a B21. So let's look for a B12. There is a B12. And a B21, just this little critter right here. A B12. It's a vitamin B12. Plus the two little container things that you made. Onto that, make sure the orientation is correct. Okay. So now we're going to do some connecting here. Okay, so B12 goes in the middle. Perfect. Doesn't really, let me see. It's the big one. Big one goes to the right. Big one goes to the right. Big one goes to the right. Okay. Gotta pull it apart. Upside down. That's what we made. It's a little shelfy shelf with some spices. And now we got to take that and put it on the next rung. We better file it down because we know it's not going to fit. Pieces are already falling off. Lovely. Have to put it on after we set it on there because everything else is going to fall apart as well. All right, hang on a second here. You heard it connect. Oh, things are starting to get wonky again. All right, here we go again. Put another dab glue. That's wonky. And there we go. Shelfie McShelfer tin. Okay, we're going to work on the last shelf now. We're going to put this aside and let the glue dry. Step 64, we need, okay, we're gluing on pieces again, just like the other ones. We're gluing on pieces. So B23 and F2. Here is B23. And F2. There's F2, a really pretty bowl. Really pretty bowl. Okay, where did that go? So, I'm not sure why you want me to put it on there, but you see how there's that orange space right there, or whatever color that is? So it looks like we're basically gluing that on there and sticking it. But first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to file this little critter here, because we know we're going to have problems. Be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. Okay, let's put that down. Okay, that one is complete. Now we need two A26s, an A29, and a B16. Here is our B16. Make sure it's facing the correct way. Put our plates back together. There are our plates. Okay, and we have this. Okay, so now we're looking for A's. So we're looking for A26 times 2. Here we go. A26 times 2. Oops, that one tried to fly away. And we're looking for A29, which looks like some spatulas and such. Some cooking equipment. Careful not to break. We got a tiny little piece here. Try not to snap that. Okay. Okay. So we have the orientation. See our orientation there. Tab going outwards. Notches going outwards. Notches going outwards. Okay. So we're going to put our A29 on the first little square. If it doesn't fit, you must quit. Make sure that the tools are facing the direct way. That one connected, perfect. And, oh, a B16. A B16 was that thing we worked on? No. That's B16. Oh, the thing we worked on is connecting to the middle. This thing, right there. So it's probably going to fall off. It fell off. So we'll have to re-glue that. Okay, we'll re-glue it once we put the other pieces in. Okay. Do we have any idea which way they're facing? We don't. Okay. Well, clearly that doesn't fit, so let's try to turn it around. Okay. Okay. Now we gotta glue that piece back on there again. Come back here, little rascal. glued on. That would be that. Oh, come on, focus. Okay. That was this right here. So now we need to connect it to the top part of the shelf. Again, let's file down this part here to ensure fitment. Okay. Like the other one, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. You probably don't need it, but I'm going to do it. Okay, now we're going to connect. Really doesn't want to go in there, does it? Nope. Too wide for the hole. Gotta shave it down some more. Okay. Pieces are gonna probably fall apart again, so we'll have to go back and glue. Not snapping in, but squishing in. Seems to be in there. And that is a completed shelf. Flipping the page. Cooperate. So that is the current completion status. So that is the current completion status. All those parts that we put together to complete this one shelf. It took like 50 minutes. A lot of filing, a lot of gluing, a lot of resetting. Look how the tools sit in this little container now. Obviously, it's this flat cardboard thing, but the way they painted it on there makes it three-dimensional. Makes it look like it's actually got that little notch out right there. How cool is that? That is awesome. It's awesome. And doesn't that tea in there just look lovely? Oh, I just want to pick that little bowl up and drink it down. And you have your little sumo bear right here. Super cute. Super cute. That's furniture that you made, not me, you did. Pressing the sides back together because we manhandled it a little bit. Cute little thing. Very delicate little pieces right here. Right here, underneath these shelves, you have these really delicate little pieces. I was doing everything I could to place that in there without squashing or breaking those. Luckily, I did not break them. Now, you see it's supposed to be under the shelf, and this one is right against it. That's the best I can do without breaking things. Lovely. We'll set that aside, let the glue dry, and see what we've got. We need to take that shelf and place it on our base. Okay. So that's going to go let's see, right, it's 3 parts, so it's going to go here, here, and here. Well, we're going to do some filing here to ensure fitment. I thought it was a wall shelf, but it's like a my brain's not working. An aisle type of thing, something that would be in the aisle. Okay, I'm going to drop a little bit of glue down here just to ensure this critter stays. Here we go. We'll try to do this here. We'll try to lift it up and see if we can do it holding it in our hand here. Hopefully nothing breaks off. Does not want to go. Okay, gotta do some more filing. As I said, the quality control on these kits are clearly not adhered to because the fitment on these parts are so wonky. They just refuse. All right, let's try it again. Oh, well, that's going to happen. So I get one side in, but it won't reach over to grab the other side. Why? Why is that? Why won't you go in on the other sides? So I gotta try going in on that side first. Well, I guess unfortunately, this one is being a problem. I don't want to break this. I really don't. That didn't sound good. Got it. Got it, coach. All right, let's put everything back. Oh, broke that one. Well, we knew that was going to happen, so let's get that out of there if we can. We can't. So we're going to just try to glue it to the back wall, since it will no longer fit in this spot. Let's try to glue that to the back wall. A little wonky. Is everything else in its place? Everything else is in its place. Terrible fitment. Absolutely miserable fitment. Just brutal. Just brutal fitment on here. Can be very frustrating. But it looks lovely. Looks very pretty. I don't know how you fit between the counter here. You got to be a very small person. A very small person. Okay. That would be what we just did here. Okay. We're at the 2-hour mark. I'll start making my favorite number, step 69. All right, so we're going to set this aside for just a moment because we're going to be working on some bar stools. C7, C6, and C8 without slurring. Try not to slur. I slur every time I say this. All right, what did I say? C7 times 2. So we'll be making 2 sets of these. Uno. Dos. C6 times 2. Here. C6 times 2. And C8 times 2. Cooperate. C8 times 2. Okay. Now we got to connect these critters together. Okay, so that one fit perfect. That does not look right, so let's flip it around. That looks good. Crazy looking things, but got to make sure you have the tabs in the right spots or they won't sit right. Those are the tabs that'll connect to the floor. Okay, let's make another one. This one on top. Okay. Flip this one around. Put it on the bottom. Ooh, you don't want to go. Oh, no, don't break. Okay. Tabs are in the correct spots. Okay. So what we just did was that. And now we're going to put this seat tops on. So that would be C21 times 2. Okay, we don't have it on there, so we got to go over to the other plate. And there's C21 times 2. Oh, we just knocked another thing off the plate. Now the plate's been separated again. Okay. Oh, sorry, bumped the phone. All right, let's see if we could do this. Oh, it just fit on perfectly. Now it had a little struggle to it. We have little bar stools. Okay. Following these steps will result in 2 identical benches. Bench 2 pieces. Current completion status. 2 benches. Now we are going to place benches with a B29 onto said base. A B29 is a very large bomber, the B29. Meow, meow, meow. That's our B29, our kitty cat. Come on. Stubborn kitty cat don't want to come out of its little cage here. Oh my God. Bad kitty. Sit. Roll over. Good kitty. Wow. Kitty. 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 Focus. Kitty. Okay. Now that you know what a kitty looks like, we're going to try to figure this out. So we are going to place kitty in that hole, and these holes over here will be for said stools. At least according to this picture. But don't take my word for it. Hopefully kitty just fits. Kitty does not want to fit. Is kitty facing the right way? Kitty is facing the right way. Okay, bar stools. Oh, you dirty, rotten thing, you. Seems odd that you'd block those really pretty pictures on there. But I guess if you gotta do it, you gotta do it, right? Trying to do this with the camera right in my face. A little difficult. Nope. Denied. There we go. That's the sound that I like to hear. Okay, bar stools set. Again, if you have some paint, you can always paint the front of that bar stool to match the wood on there. Because we're looking at, well, it is pretty much the same right there, and see how it sits right in front of here. So there's the kitty there. The kitty that's set in the back there that you see on the cover, that kitty that's right there is right on this piece back over there. There's the kitty right there. So that'll be that wall right here. So that when you're looking this away, you would see said kitty. Okay. Okay. So we have completed this. Wow. Focus. That is a lot of work. We did a lot of work today. That's not all we did. We did that wall. We did this. We'll continue going. If you'd like me to continue going, you can let me know in the comments if this is the type of content that you like. If it isn't, you can let me know in the content as well. You can say, hey, Real Talk Champ, why on earth are you doing this? Why are you building this? Nobody likes it. Hey, Real Talk Champ, everybody loves this. We love that you explain everything. Thank you very much. You can write that in the comments. You're allowed to. I do like to respond. Current completion status. We shall flip page. Aha, so now they want us to mount a back wall. These are always tricky because of the fitment. Always tricky. Okay, so we're going to try to mount, that's the ceilings. We're going to try to mount that back wall to the back of this plate. Now we've had this thing sitting in here, gluing, trying to keep this horizontal. So Here goes. This is where I always get extremely frustrated, but you are going to help me on this one. Okay. All right. Let's see how we're going to do this. That's going to go there. I'm going to try to get this in the camera here. Let's raise this up a bit, okay. Try so that this all gets seen in here. So that one goes there. It doesn't want to go. Well, of course it doesn't want to go. And why doesn't it want to go? What do you think the reason of that is for? That's right, because it is wonky. This one's going to be a little trickier because this one does not want to sit right in its spot, even though I've glued it several times down. Okay, I think it's going to end up falling out, and we're going to have to put it in separately. Oh, don't bend. Don't bend. The fitment is terrible. Okay. So when we saw that picture, we saw the other kitty cat. So that was like this. All right. Make sure everybody is pressed properly. Looking beautiful. So that's kind of cool. It's like a little nook up here. So you have to somehow fit in between this gap here, get behind this, go up these stairs up to this little tea room up here. Super cute. You got to be really skinny and tiny. I would never fit inside here. I'm 6'1", 320. Nah, they'd kick me out. They'd send me to the sumo parlor to get my tea and crumpets. But I'd want to stay and pet the pussycats. There's so many pussycats. This is the reason why I got this kit, was for the pussycats mainly. Okay, so that's that one according to this here. So now we're going to put that ceiling on the top, the ceiling that we worked on at the very beginning, which was this critter. So this guy right here should, with some filing, This is a new file, that's why it's sounding very gritty. The other file that I was using was like 7 kits old. Okay, so let's figure this out here. I don't know why it shows that aligned that way. That's now really scaring me, because there are no squares underneath there to show that that would be aligned there. That is really kind of freaking me out. It's showing this sign off to the left over here. There would have been no way to do that unless it was facing this way, and that's the way we're supposed to face it. Okay, so that is the way we're supposed to face. No, that doesn't make any sense. What is going on? Did I build this upside down? This is making me think I built it upside down. Are you serious? Did I straight up build this? See? We checked this like 3 times. And it showed the right direction. But now it shows it facing the other direction. All right, now that's the correct direction. We looked at it 3 times and said, is that correct? Does that match the instructions? That matches the instructions. But if I go back and show you how it's completely the opposite, that makes me think that it's a mistake. That's where we started it down there. That's where it is right there. I don't know. Let's just do it the right way. That's why we check everything 47 times. Okay. Ooh, that does not feel right. It does not feel right. Well, until we put the other sides on, it's gonna hang low, sweet chariot. Nothing's gonna fit right at first. Swing low. It's covering up the katanas back there. That's not cool. Those are super neato back there. Don't get it, but all right. So that's that. We are going to put another wall. Which wall? Oh, the wall with all the shelves. Ah, hiding behind everything. Here we go. So this wall is now going on this side here. So much shadow on here, it's impossible to see it. Okay. Got some crazy fitment here. Let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, so we have to connect this one here. Ooh, you do not want to fit, do you? Why are you being like that? Weird. Does not look right. That's supposed to be in front of it. Okay. Oh, please connect. It doesn't want to go in there. All right. So we can get the bottom one to fit. Bottom fits no problem, but the top one. How about the side? Feels like I'm doing this wrong. Oh, we got that side, okay. That's the sound you want to hear. Now the roof, the ceiling does not want to go in there. I can't, no. So it is very wonky and does not want to fit. It refuses to fit into that slot. It will not go. Nothing I can do will make that go, so we have to hope that when we connect the other sides, that we have some type of fitment. But as it stands right now, oh, and this thing fell off. That's lovely. We're taking it out. If we can get it out of here. This piece fell off. Okay. So it looks like this. Do we really need a ceiling? Of course we do. Let's try filing it down a little bit more, I guess. It's really weird that it doesn't want to go. The struggle is real. That's so weird. Why would they do that? Why would they make a part that just does not fit? Does it fit this way? No. I'm flabbergasted. I'm flummoxed. That is so weird. It does not fit in there. You can only put one side in. That's it. The other side will not fit at all. It's just how it's going to be. That is so weird. Somebody needs to get fired in quality control in this company here. So it can only fit on the back. It will not, because it is totally misaligned here. Totally, completely misaligned. This is misaligned. Where this post is supposed to go in there, it's too far off to the right and completely misaligned. No way to connect it. Okay. So now they want me to put the battery compartment in. Oh, you're going to make this really tricky, aren't you? You're going to make me put this battery compartment where? I'm upset, I guess. Like, seriously, why? Why would they do this? There's literally no way to connect it. The wall is already on this side. Everywhere, there's no peg for it to go. They literally made those. You see that peg right there? It's supposed to go in that slot. It doesn't even go. The only way I'm going to make that work is I got to cut out an extra square in here to try to get this to fit. This is the only way it may work. So that I can align it. I shouldn't have to do that, though. Nope, no way. It's impossible. Okay, well, fuck it. There's nothing we can do there. Gonna have to figure something else out. Nothing I can do. All right, moving on. We are looking for G19 and the battery box. So G19 is not there. G19. This one stops at, okay, I found it, I found it. It's this one right up here. This is one where the screws are going to connect to. We're going to be putting those screws right in here. Okay, G19. Yep, that is correct. All right, so we need a screwdriver and 4 screws. I'm going to open up the accessory pack. Screwdriver. Okay, this is going to be difficult, so I'm going to take everything out of said bag. And I will place everything back into said bag just to get to these little screws. Okay. They obviously gave us 2 extra screws. How lovely of them. So the accessory pack comes with a hammer. It comes with glue. Comes with tweezers. Comes with the glue tip. It comes with a double-sided tape. It comes with a file. And it comes with Scotch tape. Well, unfortunately, these batteries we found out didn't work. We'll try it again. But I tried other batteries. I ordered batteries, but they haven't come in yet. Let's try this again. So when you buy these sets of like 20, 30 batteries, not all of them are going to work. It just happens. Oh, look at that. Oh, it does work. It's going to switch off. Light goes off. So you don't have to keep the light on, even though it has a tap switch, which is right here. Tap switch. Doesn't seem to be working. Okay. Well, that sucks. Super. I assure you the lights are on, but because the lights above me are on, it's kind of hard to see. This tap switch does not work. Oh, it's very finicky. Okay, so there you go. Tap on, tap off. Clap on, clap off. Clappity clap, clappity clap. Shut it off. Try to put our little box back together here. Battery falling out. Locked in place. Locked in. Okay. No right or wrong with this one, but the tap does have to face down according to the instructions. Got to fish the wires through. Battery switch needs to go on the left. Okay, so we have to fish all these critters through here. And then lay the plate on top. Try to align the screw holes. Sorry, the focusing is going to be a little weird here. Okay, let's see if we can align these screws with their holes. Okay, so drop a screw in there. Doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. This is the part where we start screwing. And I mean that in a tool sort of way. Wow, I just offended a bunch of people. Just literally, are you serious because I said the word screwing? What am I doing? I'm screwing. I'm using a screwdriver and screwing screws into a plate. Did you seriously think I was saying something else? My God, people are weird. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Okay, we got to add another screw into this plate here. Super teeny tiny. We use its tweezers here. Okay. Alignment is a little wonky. We start screwing again. Screwing the screw into the plate. Okay. Alignment's a little wonky on the other two. Don't think I can align this in here very well. May not be able to get the last two in there. Let's see. Way off. Totally, completely off. Again, quality control is pathetic with this company. Now, this kit is made by 10 other companies. I do not recommend the company that I purchased this from. Not Amazon, the middleman. So one company designs these kits, and then China steals everything. No offense, China or everyone else, but that's just what happens in the world. And 10 different people will silkscreen do their own stuff. But the quality control, you can tell, is just crap. So pay the extra $10, buy a better kit of the same thing so that you have hopefully better fitment. Or be prepared for some serious finger, trying to do it. I can't think of the word. You know the word that I'm thinking of. You can see that the fitament's all wonky in here from this gap. There's no way to really do that. Wonky. The plate and screw is so freaking wonky. We have finished screwing said screws into plate. I'm sorry if I offended you using the American slang of slurring and screwing, but I don't know what other way to say screwing a screw into a plate without offending somebody. So I apologize for offending you. But if you get offended by things like that, then oh boy, you got another thing coming. All right. Now the even more tricky parts come in. This says, arrange the lamp wires as shown in the diagram and insert them through the corresponding recessed slots. Okay. Corresponding recessed slots. First thing is first. Can already see this shelf coming apart, and that's lovely. We got to do some fishing. I hope that word doesn't offend you. And I don't mean phishing. I mean fishing. Okay, it's like a bunch of spaghetti here. I literally went from like 50 viewers to 0 after I said we're screwing the screws into the plate. That is so weird. Watch it put it into the algorithm of OnlyFans or Pornhub because I said the screwing word. Why would you do something like that? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, how do people do construction? Okay. Was that supposed to go in there somehow differently? Just sits on the outside of it. It goes on the inside of it? No. I gotta look at another page here and figure this one out. Doesn't make any sense. Hang on a second here. So this is gonna go here. Well, that's not gonna sit properly. How is that gonna work? Something is funky in Denmark here. Okay, I got that. And that doesn't say if it has to go all the way through. Something is weird. Okay, it wouldn't fit, so that doesn't make sense. So it wouldn't fit on the inside of it. It has to sit right there, but it's not gonna make sense. I don't understand. There's no way to connect that. It doesn't say glue it on there. Now we're starting to get into weirdness, folks. Weirdness. Weirdness. Okay, so this drops down and goes this way. Where does this go? Has to go against the back wall. No. It's showing it, and it's not possible. I don't understand. Something is screwed up. It's showing this piece right here all the way up at the top, but it's not possible because the length of it doesn't work. Something is really weird. The light slips should be arranged as shown. Okay, if that was there, then this somehow, can I turn this? No. They go up the back wall. They definitely go up the back wall. Oh, it does. This plate does go on the right on top of that thing there. That seems really weird, but okay. Whew, this is where we get kind of on the weird side. We have entered the twilight zone. So that's not going to work. Okay. It has to face this way. It just has to. But it doesn't say anything but where it has to face. So let's forget about that for now. This is saying it has to go through this notch right here, and then somehow have to align these strips somehow. But where? Where do you align the strips? It would be nice if this ceiling fit into its spot, but it won't fit. Okay, let's try to figure this out. You're not telling me where they go. That's bothersome. E5. Let's get those little notches that we were going to get rid of. Well, I guess we don't need that anymore. E5 times 2 are just the little things that I said they look like wire holders. They are wire holders. We're done with that. That plate's done. All right, so these things go up here. If there was some way to get them in there. Now, you would think that this would run like this. Okay, so that's how that would work. But I think it goes underneath. Wait a second here. No. The adhesive tape on the back of the light strip 2 should be removed and applied to the designated location. But where? On top? But the tape is on the wrong side. This is very confusing. I don't understand. I am so confused. Literally makes no sense at all. It shows this tab right here being punched out on the next page. There is literally no way to punch that tab out. That is solid. So that ain't a thing. Okay. I don't understand why. I get these, each LED light fits into those little squares. I get that, but I don't understand why you would pull the tape off. Because that doesn't make any sense. If it's not being secured to anything, we still can't put this ceiling in here at all. This ceiling was made wrong. This tab right here was put in the wrong place, and it will not connect with this ceiling, with this wall. There literally is a mistake in this kit. I bet you if I went to Reddit and looked it up, I'd find a bunch of people saying the exact same thing. Why can't we get the ceiling to fit on this kit? I'm going to call it here, folks. I need a break from this kit. I'll pick it up another day. It's making me too frustrated because I can't figure out the instructions at this point. I'm going to go on Reddit and try to figure this out, and I'm going to contact the manufacturer, show them pictures. on why things are not, the fitment's all wrong, and see what they say about that. Maybe they can send me another ceiling piece, another one of these ceiling pieces, where this is in the correct spot, which it should be over about 4 millimeters. They put that tab in the completely wrong spot. Now I can take this tab off, bust it off, and just glue it as best as I can to these two walls here. But you can see the fitment of this corner doesn't work as well. Terrible fitment, absolutely 100%. The worst fitment I've ever seen in a kit. See, if I try to put the ceiling piece in it won't even connect at all. Without breaking it. But if I put it into that wall, now it won't connect with the original wall, because now you can, it's hard to see, but you see the hole in there? The tab is off to the right and the hole is off to the left. The fitment is completely wrong. So again, the quality control, not there on this kit. I'd have to cut out, again, a whole nother notch to make this fit. It won't even fit. You see how wonky it is? Yeah, so this ceiling piece, completely wrong. They screwed that up. My name is Real Talk Chimp. I'm live streaming on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. We are trying to build this cherry blossom tree tea pavilion, SJ042. Check out the other playlists and all the other goodies that we have on here. We'll continue trying to build this another day. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace and chicken grease, everyone.